It is 6 o'clock, so the work session for mayor and council is called to order. Miss Randy, please.
Yes,
We have a
good
roll
evening.
call.
Yes, good evening, Honorable Mayor, HR Manager Brown, City Council. This is the roll call for the work session of November 17th, 2025. Mayor Butler,
Present.
Councilmember James.
Present.
Councilmember Gunn. Here. Councilmember Gutierrez.
Present from Savannah.
Councilmember Akins Wells.
Here.
Councilmember Mears.
Here.
Mayor Butler, you have a quorum.
All right, thank you very much. The agenda as it stands, is there anything that the governing body desires to add or delete? All right, not hearing anything. Is there a motion to adopt tonight's agenda?
So moved.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
Second.
That was Councilwoman Gunn. Is there any discussion? Miss Randy, please.
Councilmember James.
Yes.
Councilmember Gunn.
Yes.
Councilmember Gutierrez.
Yes.
Councilmember Akins Wells.
Yes.
Councilmember Mears.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the consent agenda. Is there anything that the governing body desires to add in or delete? Not hearing anything. Is there a motion to adopt tonight's consent agenda?
So moved.
All right, that was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
Second.
That was Councilwoman Gunn. Is there any discussion? Miss Randy, please.
Councilmember James.
Yes.
Councilmember Gunn.
Yes.
Councilmember Gutierrez.
Yes.
Councilmember Akins Wells.
Yes.
Councilmember Mears.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. We did not approve the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
All right, thank you. That's Councilwoman Wells. Is there a second
I'll second. I
Thank
have a
you.
question.
on this?
Yes.
Okay, second by Councilwoman James, and we'll open it up for discussion.
So, a real quick question I had, was this a new position? Or is this,
It's not,
is this?
it's
position-
not a new position. It's it's the same medical director, and it's just renewing the contract for another year.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right. Miss Randy, please.
Councilmember James.
Yes.
Councilmember Gunn.
Yes.
Councilmember Gutierrez.
Yes.
Councilmember Akins Wells.
Yes.
Councilmember Mears.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Old business. Council discussion on the proposed amendment to the charter to amend section 2.5 inquiries and investigations of Article 2 of the government structure section. Background and history. At the recent strategic planning retreat, the governing body reached a consensus to amend the charter by revising the investigation process. Under the proposed revision, investigations would be permissible, but would require formal approval by the whole governing body before proceeding. At the October 15th, 2025 regular session meeting, the amendment did not receive the necessary number of votes for passage. As a result, the proposed ordinance was re-advertised for 3 consecutive weeks. The first reading and consideration of the ordinance was scheduled for the regular session on November 3rd at 6 p.m. And the second and final reading with potential adoption is scheduled for the regular session meeting on October 17th, 2025. Should that be September 15th? That's when it did not pass because it did not have enough votes, not October.
So the first reading was at the last city council meeting. And then, so that was the first meeting in November, and then this is the second reading. So it may have been an error to include that October date in reference to when it did not
But
pass.
that was in September because I know I was out the country.
Yeah, so I believe that is an error.
Okay, so that should have read September. All right, questions or comments? Councilwoman James?
No.
Councilwoman Gunn? Councilman Gutierrez?
Yeah, so this didn't pass. I thought we had already voted on this.
No, so back in September,
It was 2-1, but upon further review of the charter, it requires 3 affirmative votes to adopt any ordinance or resolution.
And this moving forward, would it for any investigation, it would require all 5 council members or the majority?
It'd be
As in 3.
it would be majority. It's the same exact language. It just removes the last sentence where it discusses individually making inquiries.
That's not how this reads.
If you look at the ordinance itself,
Yeah, that's not how it reads in its background in history. So it's confusing.
okay, I didn't prepare the background in history, so I can read.
So when we do the voting, the approval of it at the regular session, then I'll just need to say per the charter.
Ordinance, yes. So, and I can read it if, right now, if you
Yes.
prefer. Okay.
For the record.
So for section 2.17, inquiries and investigations, now this is the same language that's already in there. The city council may make inquiries and investigations into the affairs of the city and the conduct of any department, office, or agency thereof, and for this purpose may subpoena, witness, administer oaths, take testimony, and require the production of evidence. Any person who fails or refuses to obey a lawful order issued in the exercise of these powers by the city council shall be punished as provided by ordinance. Now, there's one more sentence that's currently in the code that is being deleted via this charter amendment, and that provision states, the mayor and council members may individually make inquiries of any city employee concerning the operations of the city.
Thank you. Councilwoman Wells,
No.
Councilman Mears. All right, thank you. New business, council discussion on the beautification committee appointments. Background and history. Staff is seeking approval for the reappointment of 4 beautification committee members for a 1-year term. Ann Keith in Ward 2, LaShawn Boykin of Ward 3, Lois Wright of Ward 4, and Quan Ria at large. Staff is also recommending approval of a new appointment to fill the vacant Ward 5 seat on the beautification committee. Hi.
Good evening,
Good
Mayor and
evening.
Council. Tonight, I'm going to defer to Supervisor Scott to provide some additional information as it relates to these appointments.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Council,
Good evening.
HR Manager, Director, excuse me. We're just asking for the reappointment of the Beautification Committee and also recommending a new appointment to fill the vacancy for Ward 5.
And who would that be?
It was recommended to Councilman Mears, Cynthia Bacon.
All right, thank you. Questions or comments, Councilwoman James?
No questions.
Councilwoman Dunn?
None.
Councilman Councilman Gutierrez?
Yes, no questions.
Thank you, Councilwoman Wells.
No.
And Councilman Mears.
No question.
Is that BACON, Bacon?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Council 4. Item 4, council discussion on a partnership agreement with the Rock Church of Atlanta, Inc. and the City of Forest Park. The Rock Church of Atlanta in Forest Park has served Forest Park residents for years as a trusted location for food distribution, collaborating with organizations like Hunger No More Outreach to provide support to hundreds of families in need. As food insecurity continued to rise, the need for secure and dependent storage became clear, and the lack of on-site capacity limited how much food could actually be delivered to our community. This partnership agreement formalizes the long-standing relationship between the city and Rock Church. allowing the city to place and maintain a secure storage container on its property. At the same time, Rock Church continues to provide the location, site access, and operational support. The goal is to strengthen food distribution services, improve capacity, and ensure consistent service delivery to Forest Park residents who genuinely depend on these resources. Well, Elder Cook, is there anything you want to add to that? I know that's not why you're here. No. Okay,
Answer the
good.
questions if needed.
All right, thank you. Councilwoman James?
So yeah, I do believe that this is a great idea. They do a lot for the community. They give away a lot of food. The only question I would have is about the maintaining portion as far as what the city would do.
And this is on by legislative office. So, Ms. Pauline, do you have anything to add? Can you answer that question? I'm not.
About,
So who
can
from
you
the reg-
clarify about the maintaining question you're asking? Like maintaining the facility or?
No, for maintaining the box or the storage unit. Yeah.
So they will be responsible for maintaining the unit itself. It's essentially the city is providing this unit to lessen the impact on city residents as well as city resources. But the agreement itself lays out all of the responsibilities of the city as well as the responsibilities of the church.
Okay, thank you.
Councilwoman Gunn?
I'm just glad that this has taken place. The Rock serves this community. They've been serving for years, and one of the things is they are now at three days within a week of providing all types, even down to clothing. And so, just like I said, they have run out of space. They've reached out to us, and me and Hector Gutierrez, Councilman Hector Gutierrez, we came together, and well, he approached me, and I'm just excited that we're finally moving forward with this. We know that they are accountable. They do an amazing job, and so I'm excited for the city to connect with them in partnership in doing this.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yeah, excited this came to fruition. Like Councilwoman Gunn said, the Rock Church is a pillar in our community, and they feed a lot of families, and not just from Forest Park, but they come from everywhere, and 3 times a week, and they don't. It's not like you gotta sit down and pray. It's just straight up helping people and doing God's word. So I just thankful that we can support our community with things like this, and hopefully we can continue to do more of these acts. And just shout out to Pastor Mike and Elder Cook and Miss April, or the whole team over there in the Rock. They just, anytime we need volunteers or any just doings or actions in our community, they're there. So just thank you and keep up the good work.
Councilwoman Wells?
Yes, I'd just like to say thank you to the Rock Church of Atlanta. I had the opportunity to go out there and help distribute some of the food just to see how organized and well maintained everything is. You all are definitely an asset to our community. So thank you.
Councilman Mears?
No comment.
All right, thank you. Item 5, council discussion and decision on case RZ 2025-03, a rezoning request for 4652 Jonesboro Road. Background and history. The subject property is a 0.26 give or take acre parcel at 4652B Jonesboro Road in Ward 3, located behind an existing commercial parcel that shares the same address and access point. Although the property is currently zoned RS, which is single-family residential, it has historically been used for commercial purposes, including an automotive repair business that operated on the site for several decades. The applicant is requesting rezoning to GC, which is general commercial, citing the long-term commercial use and noting that the property has never functioned as residential. Staff review of zoning maps from 2013 to 2024 confirms the parcel has consistently carried an RS designation and no official record of prior commercial zoning was found. However, the parcel's physical layout, shared access with the front commercial parcel, and location along a major commercial corridor limit its suitability for residential use. Given the corridor's context, historical commercial function, and site constraints, staff supports rezoning the property to GC with the exception that any future redevelopment will comply with current city standards for site design, access, buffering, and compatibility with surrounding properties, excuse me. Should the mayor and city council approve this rezoning request, the property may be reintegrated into a cohesive commercial site along the corridor and redeveloped in accordance with current zoning, development, and land use regulations.
Yes, good evening, Mayor, Council,
Good evening.
Director Brown. As stated, this is basically just rezoning the property to the zoning classification to which it was historically used. Our maps indicated something different. We wanted to ensure that the applicant was able to use his property as he chose to. The Planning Commission did recommend approval for this rezoning item. Thank you.
Councilwoman James,
No questions.
Councilwoman Gunn, Councilman Gutierrez.
Yeah, my backyard connects to this property and it's definitely commercial. I just want to make sure that our, business owners and even homeowners, that everybody just is patient. When these things happen, there's a whole process that we had to follow. And Mr. Butch was very patient, the business owner. So we appreciate him. And now we got everything back to where it was. So just thank you for working with our city, Mr. Butch, and shout out to the team that made this happen.
Councilwoman Wells,
No.
Councilman Mears.
No, ma'am, no question.
All right, thank you. Council discussion to confirm the establishment of a development impact fee program and consider appointment of a development impact fee advisory committee. Background and history. In response to continued growth and increasing demand on public infrastructure, the city has been evaluating the potential establishment of a development impact fee program in accordance with the Georgia Development Impact Fee Act, DIFA, which is OCGA 36-71-1. Such a program would provide a structured and legally supported funding mechanism to ensure that new development contributes its proportionate share toward capital improvements needed to support growth. This item was previously presented to Mayor and Council on July 21st, 2025, at which time staff briefed Council on the overall purpose of development impact fees, the requirement to prepare and adopt a capital improvements element as part of the comprehensive plan, and the state law requirement to appoint a development impact fee advisory committee. The advisory committee serves in an advisory capacity to review and provide input on the draft impact fee ordinance, fee schedule, and project list before city council consideration. Under OCGA 36-71-5, the advisory committee must consist of not fewer than 5 and no more than 10 members, with at least 50% of the members representing the development, building, or real estate industries. The members do not have to be residents of the city. State law also allows the mayor and council to designate an existing body, such as the Planning Commission or Development Authority, to serve as the advisory committee if the membership composition satisfies the required industry representation threshold. Staff has provided the mayor and council with suggested names for potential committee appointments to assist with meeting these statutory requirements and to support the timely formation of the advisory committee. The committee's role will be to provide input on the draft development impact fee ordinance and fee schedule in 2026 before council consideration. Adoption of the ordinance and fee schedule will be required to formally establish the city's development impact fee program. Should the mayor and council approve the appointment of the Development Impact Fee Advisory Committee, staff will proceed with preparation of the capital improvements element and related documents necessary to advance the program.
Yes, good evening again.
Good evening.
As stated, we brought this item before mayor and council and introduced the beginning of the impact fee study. Currently, our consultant has been meeting with various directors to obtain information as she goes through this process. At this point, staff is requesting from mayor and council to make recommendations for individuals to be on this particular committee. Once again, you can use the planning commission in place if you choose to. However, this once again is just a request. We're hoping that you'll be able to provide your recommendations by Monday, the 24th, if possible. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Councilwoman James?
So, is there, so if you want the recommendations by Monday, is that something that needs to happen before January?
It should, just because our consultant is currently, when she finishes working with staff, what she'd like to do is have a meeting with this particular group to go over the ins and outs as it relates to what they will be doing as part of this study. So the sooner we get her the names, the sooner she'll be able to set up that meeting.
Okay, so, what my, comments are to the board is I would actually like the mayor-elect to have an opportunity to present names for this committee. So I'm wondering if, I see it's 5, not less than 5, no more than 10. So my question, I guess, Attorney Matricardi, is if we approve the list that's before us, the 5 names that's before us, are we able to add to that list to make it up to 10 or?
Excuse me, you can add to the list. It will just be an additional appointment.
Okay.
Councilwoman Gunn?
So this has to be solidified before January 1st, according to
Well,
statutes or what they, help me out.
Well, what we can do is exactly what Attorney Matricardi said. The group has to consist of 5 to 10 members. So if you initially start out with 5, if you choose to add additional members, you can do so. Again, the meeting date has not been established yet to meet with this committee, but what I can do is talk to consultant and see the latest date to which this meeting needs to take place, and that will allow you all opportunity to have the new incoming mayor be able to participate and add any additional people that she would like to recommend.
And so the names that I see the word sample here. So this is
Yes.
just to,
This is
just to let us know,
yes, it's just a
to move
sample.
forward. Okay.
These people, you can either choose to use them or not. I figured that we'd give you a few names just to show you the diversity of the people that would have to be on the board. We have an insurance person, a realtor, a person that owns a large business in the city. So it's just an example. Additionally, we have 2 staff members included as well. So once again, it's totally up to the board who they'd like to have on this committee.
So, Rebecca, what I saw was that we need to have someone who would represent that is, in the industry of development, building, or real estate.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I just want to stay in those 3
Okay.
brackets.
Yes, ma'am.
Whoever's in the insurance game, I don't see that unless you guys can tell me something different. So we get to come in and potentially say, it doesn't necessarily have to be up to 10,
It doesn't have to be 10.
up to 10.
Up to 10, and then that requirement, only 50% of them have to either be from building, real estate, or development. So there can be others, but you can also narrow it if you just want to keep it solely development, real estate, and building construction.
Okay. And so due to the nature of us making sure that this board is established and with the the representing body that's going to be built, will we be afforded to see resumes to make sure that we're going to be choosing the appropriate people to move this forward?
Yes, mayor and council can choose any which way they would like to be able to review potential applicants. We haven't been advertising or asking for such applicants, but if you all recommend somebody, if they submit their resume, it'll allow the rest of the committee or the rest of the board to see who that individual is in general.
So Metro Cardi, the application, the application that we had set up for the boards that we already have running, would that be an application they would need, or would we just basically would go by the resume itself?
You could use that application process for this. I would recommend issuing a specific request for them to complete it.
Mhm.
And then you can look at all of those that are interested, turn in the application, their resume, and then make that selection.
I totally agree. I think we need to have them vetted in with that right information afforded to us, so we can make a proper choice for the city.
Yes, ma'am.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Yeah, I agree with Councilwoman James. I think the mayor-elect needs to have an input on this. I saw the list. I have a question. Like, I know that it was mentioned that they don't have to live in the city, but do they have to have a business in the city at least? I kind of want to make sure that they have an interest in our city, and we're just not, putting people that don't have a direct interest in our city. If it's not a business owner, I understand the employees, but if they're not a resident or they have a business there, like, kind of why.
I would say, as Attorney Matricardi mentioned, the board has the opportunity to decide how many individuals participate in this board. If the criteria would be for them to have a business here in the city of Forest Park, I believe that is something that can be accommodated by the language provided.
By the board, you mean us, the council?
Yes, yes, Mayor and Council.
Okay, got you. Okay, thank you.
Councilman?
That's it for me.
Yes, I agree that they definitely should be a resident of Forest Park or at least have a business outside of Forest Park. But thank you.
Councilman?
Yeah,
Harris?
great question.
All right, let's see. Item 7, council update and discussion regarding the maximum number of liquor licenses permitted in the city by code. Background and history. At the October 20th, 2025 city council meeting, staff provided an overview and discussion regarding the maximum number of liquor licenses permitted within the city as established by section 9.2.52 of the city code. During that discussion, concerns were raised that the city may currently be at or near the maximum number of allowed licenses for wholesale and retail package sales of distilled spirits. Pursuant to section 9.2.52, the city is authorized to issue a combined maximum of 7 licenses for wholesale dealers and retail dealers of distilled spirits by the package. Additional licenses may not be issued unless and until the city adoption, the city's population reaches 21,000 residents. Upon reaching that population threshold, one additional license may be considered for every 3,000 additional residents. Population counts for this purpose are determined using the most recent data published by the Atlanta Regional Commission, or, if unavailable, the most recent U.S. decennial census. Since the previous council discussion, staff have reviewed the pending liquor license application submitted by Sharmunda Corporation, doing business as Dixie Package. All required documentation has been submitted by the applicant. The application remains pending final planning and community development approval, which is contingent upon successful completion of the necessary building and trade permits, as well as fire and building inspections associated with planned construction and demolition at the site. Once these approvals are satisfied, the license will be issued through the city's online permitting portal. Staff will continue to monitor progress and provide updates as needed. Additionally, during the prior meeting, council requested that staff explore the city's alcohol sales proximity regulations as they relate to churches. Staff is seeking clarification from the city attorney regarding whether the current distance requirements are established solely by city ordinance or the governed and in part by state law in order to determine whether potential amendments may be considered and, if so, what options may be available for council discussion.
Yes, good evening. As stated, this was just an update as it related to a particular applicant that came in looking for a distilled license. Staff is actually seeking legal advice, so I will allow Attorney Matricardi to move forward with the question regarding the distance between churches and places that sell alcohol.
So there's state law distance requirements. Those set the minimum standards. The city is able to adopt more stricter requirements, but that's essentially how it is. It's this, if the city wants to have a more strict requirement as it comes to distance, they can, but it cannot be more lenient than what is in state law.
Councilwoman James?
So does that answer your question? I know we had this before.
Mhm.
So the company that we're talking about is the same company that the building burnt down, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so is there a problem with them getting their license or are we good?
As I stated, as read a few minutes ago, yes, they are fine at this point right now. They are renovating the building. Once they complete the renovation and their building permits are finalized, they will receive fire review as well as compliance review, and then their business license as well as their alcohol license will be issued.
Somebody help me out. The last paragraph is really throwing me out. I think we got two different situations, and in that last paragraph, it has been combined because I don't remember asking that the staff explore the city's alcohol sales proximity regulations as they relate to churches. I don't know how we got the churches mixed up with
I asked it.
you asked that?
Yeah, because of Jerry's Cafe, they're in the same lot as the church. So I was curious to see if it was something that we could change.
Just tied to.
So the Councilman Gutierrez, what was your question was you want to know, was there a state regulation that permitted alcohol facilities that sold alcohols, how close they could be to churches?
Yes, Councilwoman, that was my question. And I know I went to Jerry's Cafe, the breakfast on my ward location, and there's a church in that same lot. And I had asked the person if they ever thought about, selling mimosas or drinks on Sundays because of the games. And she mentioned to me that she couldn't because she's in the same lot as a church. So due to the large amount of churches we have, I felt like, that's kind of, in my opinion, an outdated, ordinance. So I wanted to see what it was. So, but Attorney Matricardi mentioned it's a state, so I guess there's nothing we can do.
So, Tricardi? No, Director Dozier, who was in the facility first? The eatery or the church?
I would have to look that up. I don't have the specific
the
date
church.
between
The
who was
church had,
first,
the church
just
has
church.
been there. And so is this the first time we've seen this in the city where there is a place that, a restaurant that is connected to, and I'm assuming this church is in a plaza, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, it's not a standalone, right? Okay, and so it's in a plaza. So
I believe
have we had this situation, before? Has there been any complaints from business owners? I can't sell my alcohol because people want to come in and serve the Lord. Help me out.
Well, what I will say is I haven't heard of any complaints as it relates to this particular issue. And we should clarify, it's places of public assembly. So I don't want to make sure it's not specifically singling out churches per se, because once again, it's called a place of public assembly, which is a number of different uses beside the church. But that being the case, no, ma'am, I have not heard any complaints from any business owners as it relates to their operations in the sales of alcohol.
I just want to clarify that a little bit. State law specifically says churches, so it cannot be within 100 yards of a church. So state law doesn't apply to any type of public assembly. It's specifically a religious institution.
Okay, okay. And so, when did this company that came in that plaza, how long they been operating?
Jerry's Cafe, because it's a business. They're relatively new. I don't know the exact date, so I don't want
Okay.
to be incorrect.
Okay.
I'm sorry. 2 years. Thank you.
And I get what Gutierrez is saying. We have businesses that are coming in. So is that something that is understood by those persons who are coming in, who are setting up businesses potentially to a church or religious entity?
When they come in and ask about the zoning or request a zoning verification, we do indicate whether or not they will have issues obtaining alcoholic licenses, depending on the parcel that they select.
Okay. So if
yes.
somebody is coming in
Mhm.
and there's a church that's there,
Mhm.
is this city making sure that that business owner has the right information to know, hey, come Sunday morning, you got to shut it down? Is it after they get to sell after 1 p.m., 12:30? They can't sell it all that day.
Mm-mm.
So are we making sure that these business owners have a clear understanding that when we come in, and if not, is it something that I would want? I ain't saying I'm selling alcohol, y'all. I might, no, but what I'm saying, to be fair across the board when it comes to the business of the city and people coming into this city and they are establishing, they're choosing Forest Park, that they have all the information in order for them to be productive. And not only be productive, but to tell their friend who got a couple of coins in the bank who can come here and establish a business. So that part right there.
What I will
Councilwoman, it's not just Sunday, it's any day. So it's all days of the week. They can't sell.
So I think that we could talk about this offline because I would like to look at this a little bit further and know a little bit more context about this business in particular. Because there's certain provisions that would allow on premise consumption or so for sale on premises, but not retail sale, like by the
Like a
package.
store.
Correct. And then state law, as it applies to churches, is specific to distilled spirits. So there could potentially be an ability for that entity to sell, but I would need more context.
Okay.
So.
Okay. I agree with you. I want some more insight into this, and because I am a drug addiction counselor, I don't support it. But I want people to have a fair chance to come in, and whatever they put in black and white and request, and we give them that permit, that they don't get blindsided by not having all the information.
Understood.
Councilman Gutierrez?
Thank you, Mayor. No, yeah, I agree. I just think it's about freedoms of choice. I'm not, I'm not supportive of people getting hammered there by the church or in the community or driving away drunk. Of course not. But I do think that would attract different businesses, and I just want to make sure that if they want to offer some type of happy drink during the week, then they're able to. And I didn't know, honestly, I became aware of it because of that business owner when she told me, because of the proximity. So it's not to, sell like wholesale. It's to consume in the restaurant. So I think, just making it clear would help. Because if not, I think it would be hard to have even any type of restaurants in our community if we go by the proximity to a church. Because we bless in Forest Park.
Councilwoman Wells?
No, I just wanted to, because Director Doja stated that they were renovating the building. The building is actually no longer there. So there's it's a blank canvas, so I just wanted to clear that up. And then also, I know there were some issues with, at one time well, first of all, there's a process, right? When
Yes,
a
ma'am.
business come into the city, there's a process. They go through a permitting process. So that's when they're told what they can and what they can't do. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I understood that. But everything's clear as far as where the business is located, because I know at one point, they were trying to move to Main Street. And so all of that is hashed out, so it will
Yes,
be
ma'am.
on Old Dixie, remaining on Old Dixie.
Well, it'll be at the new location, which is the Forest Park, not Main Street, Forest Park. 349 or 347 Forest Parkway.
The Old Dixie package store?
Yes, because the owner of the actual premise decided that he did not want to rebuild. So that particular business is moving to another location on Forest Parkway.
That's not the brick building on the corner of College or Ash and Forest Parkway?
It's actually I believe it's the Colonial car sales place. It's next to the hotel.
By where? Oh, down that way.
Yes.
Oh, wait, this way. No, this way. Okay.
We didn't have to approve that?
Yeah, how? Who? Was that a private purchase?
I'm not sure if they purchased or rented the property,
But it's not city property?
but it's not city property, no ma'am.
And is it permitted? Okay.
It is a permitted use. They can ask for and obtain permission to operate there. They've already come in and put in for their zoning verification, which indicates that the use is permitted. And they're also working with business licensing as well as obtaining their final distilled spirits license to sell in the city, which was the main topic of the initial discussion.
So that didn't have to come before mayor and council?
No, they do not have to come before mayor and council for a by right use. They would only have to come if it was a conditional use.
Or if there were not sufficient licenses and that if the number of licenses and the maximum was reached and you wanted to exceed the number despite the population, then you would have been required to amend the ordinance. But because the number has not been reached, it was unnecessary to bring it.
Okay, that's just puzzling that we didn't want to put a Zaxby's or a restaurant up, but we want to put a liquor store on
did.
Parkway. But yeah, that don't make sense to me, and I definitely don't approve of that, and I wish that would have come before us, but okay, thank you.
So are they clear? There's a church that sits on the opposite side of that street. And does it clear 200?
It meets the distance requirement between churches and the ability to sell distilled liquor.
So
They gonna be-
it's 100 yards. Is the required distance.
So the liquor store is gonna be on Forest Parkway.
Once
Ward
ag-
2?
As stated, we understand it may not have necessarily been the preference. It wasn't staff's preference either. However, due to the nature and what the code states, there isn't any other options that we have as it relates to regulating outside of what the code allows.
So although there's a code, we still make the decision on what we want and don't want in our community. Right? That's what we're here for.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Councilman Mears?
Yes, ma'am. I'm sort of confused on the situation. There, I was sort of in favor of him, with them or whoever building back where they had the fire
Yeah.
under the same pretenses, but it seems like we're trying to get to a bait and switch type situation, and we don't need to let them hoodwink us into doing something that we'll be sorry for later. If they fall in under the church rules and everything, just like they were where they were at, and they wanting to move to a different location, that's just a whole new different ballgame that has to be guidelines and everything has to be decided, rather than just giving them a blank check, you know what I'm saying?
Wait, I'm sorry, Ms. Dennis is gonna chime in, Director Dennis.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council
afternoon.
and Director Brown. To chime in a little bit with what Director Dozier has shared, that parcel 349 is the Colonial Auto Sales. My understanding, and I'm gonna give a little bit of backstory to bring us up to where we are currently. So we had our Office of Economic Development, had a conversation with the tenants of Old Dixie Package Store after the fire happened. They initially were looking at a parcel further down Old Dixie as a ground-up construction. Unfortunately, our department did not have further conversation with them, or were not aware that they were moving forward with the Colonial Auto Sales. So unfortunately, at the time that we learned that Colonial Auto Sales was in play, which is a privately held commercial lot, we actually had a meeting with Colonial Auto Sales probably about 2-3 months ago as they were looking to sell the development. We had conversation with the property owner as well as with their brokerage team on some acceptable uses of what the city would like to see, i.e. retail, restaurant, grocery store, et cetera, et cetera. So unfortunately, by the time it circled back around, because the owner did not know, had chosen not to build or rebuild on the Old Dixie site. And the tenants, my understanding of the tenants, there were two different entities. There's the person that owned the building who has chosen not to rebuild, and the tenants that ran Old Dixie did not actually own the property. So our conversation was with the tenants of the building, and they were looking to build their own ground up construction. Unfortunately, by the time the Office of Economic Development learned about Colonial Auto Sales and that it was in play, Planning and Community Development, they had gone through the zoning verification process.
Okay, so there's the owner and then there's the
Tenant.
tenant. So what is the owner doing? Are they,
My understanding, and Director Dozier, please correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding is that the owner has chosen not to rebuild. So the site has been leveled, it's been leveled and completely cleared, but is not planning to rebuild. I do not know at this time what his future plans are for the property, but the actual tenants that were running the Old Dixie Package Store are the tenants, or the people that are looking to assume ownership, or either ownership or lease of Colonial Auto Sales.
so we have this concierge model that I thought we had in place, that I've talked about us having in place, would keep the synergy amongst all the departments. But it seems that that's not occurring, because we have what they've been speaking with planning and community development on, and then what they've been speaking with economic development on. And it seems to me everyone should know what's going on. So where are we with this concierge model that we have talked about for so long?
The concierge model is still in play. In this particular instance, I think because there were two different people involved, I believe the property owner was in contact with the planning department. The tenant was involved with the business license department. So after we, I guess, kind of got everything together between the issues between the owner and the tenant, that's when we figured out, okay, they are trying to look for additional properties. Now, whenever somebody comes in and they'd like to look for additional properties, we do recommend that they speak with, or are there when they speak with economic development, to ensure that basically there is the synergy. In this particular instance, though, because there was so many moving parts, it appeared that that didn't happen in the beginning, because this was a situation where the owner or the applicant indicated that their intent was to stay at their current location. However, that changed. And that's when I believe they were having conversations possibly with economic development. Is that
A little bit. I'm gonna add a little
more?
bit.
Okay.
Well, so, and to that, the concierge model should not be a recommendation. Well, it should be a part of the entire process. And but for that, there are several entities involved, that's all the more reason for everyone to be at the table to discuss this thoroughly. And so I know Councilwoman James, you had a question or stuff. Okay, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so
I'm sorry.
my question was a little bit about what just happened, and that is we were not aware that they were not going to rebuild on that in that place. And so the zoning that's on Forest Parkway, um, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, here's what I will say. Typically, when a business owner or a new business comes to the city, they do meet with planning and zoning, and we do take them through the concierge model. The issue in this particular instance was because it was an existing business, and originally they stated that their intent was to open it at the same location. We too did not find out that they wanted to move until after the fact. And so I think that's what happened. Well, I mean, that's what happened in the.
I'm sorry. So let me ask you, when you learned after the fact that they were gonna move, when was everyone put on notice that this was happening? Or was anyone put on notice that this was happening? Because they couldn't move to a different location without the city. I mean, we have to have an input into them moving to a different location. So even if it's after the fact, we still get the information before the fact, right?
This is what I'll say. The applicant asked for zoning on a number of parcels. And what we did was, based on the zoning classification, we let them know it's a possibility to be there or not. In this particular instance, we did do that, and the applicant chose to go with this parcel. Now, I don't know the exact time frame, if you're asking me, to which they were speaking with economic development. I'll let Ms. Dennis, address that time frame when that was happening.
So I can provide for mayor and council first thing tomorrow morning, a full detailed memo of the entire timeline and conversation that we had, and at what point economic development had conversation or was brought into the conversation about about the fire at Old Dixie and this whole conversation. Now, I think what would probably also be helpful is at the same time having PCD provide an overlay of their timeline. I can't speak. I tried very hard to stay in my department, so I can't speak on what did and did not happen in PCD, but I can provide for you a full detail accounting of every conversation and the full timeline of the conversation that we had with what is the name of the group? Chumata Group.
Madam Mayor?
Wait, I'm sorry, one second. Is it Cotton?
Yeah.
Can you raise your hand, please? Oh, okay, thank you. Okay.
Me?
I'm sorry. you
Nope,
can't
I'm
continue.
good. Sorry.
Wait, I'm sorry, Councilwoman Wells.
Yeah, I'm
Come back to
so confused right now. I'm so confused. And the reason I'm confused is because, some of us do partake in adult beverages. But I don't think all of us want to see all these liquor stores around our community. And so the discussion was to help this business, the owners, not the people who are operating. Because it's just like somebody working at a grocery store. The grocery store burned down and the owner say they don't want to rebuild, but then two of the workers come together and say, well, we're gonna move down the street and rebuild. It just doesn't make sense. So when they came, we had an opportunity to say yes or no. Out of all of the things that we need in this community, a nice grocery store, restaurants, just nice establishments, we're saying yes to a liquor store on Forest Parkway. It's just baffling. And I don't agree with that. I was all for helping the existing owners to rebuild, but to move and have another liquor store on Forest Parkway where so many other things are needed, I think that should have been stopped. So no matter what the plans are, what the ordinance say, we could have said no. We didn't have to say yes because that's what they decide. We decide. The residents decide what they want in their community. And I don't think if we did a survey, the residents would agree on a liquor store on Forest Parkway. Oh, yeah, that just don't make sense.
I'm sorry, Councilman Mears.
Yeah,
You forgot.
I agree with Ms. Wells there. That place, I was under the impression they were gonna build right back where they were. You couldn't get in the place when you go by it. It's not like it's starving or rotting on the vine. I think they had a alternative motive why they wanting to move to a bigger place, because they're wanting to do something else other than run a liquor store. Now, I'm like, my colleagues, I would agree to let them build back where they're at and everything, but, not to just relocate and then modify out.
What I will say is that when we do have applicants that come in and the use is not ideal, or we feel that the site is not the best site, we do advise the applicants that, this is not the best site. Maybe you can find another site, but because of the code, we can't necessarily say no if the use is permitted by right. I'm not even sure, and maybe Attorney Matricardi can chime in as to whether or not there can be some limitation or restriction as it relates to the ability to say a use cannot be permitted.
So without rezoning, so with this, I mean, going forward, there's ways to protect against things like this, but as of right now, this is a permitted use. So there is no way of denying an application just based off of the zoning, because that's currently what, maybe not this city council, but the prior sitting city council zoned. So if in the future you want to reevaluate the zoning districts in the particular area, or like the more concentrated area that's near downtown, because I believe the downtown district does not allow for package stores, but this is outside of that. So if that's a directive you want to give the city planning department, that's something that they can look into, whether there should be a rezoning or not.
Councilwoman Gunn?
So we started with the support of them being on Old Dixie. Somebody executed in their little minds, no, let's move along to Forest Park. And so somebody planned something. So that fell in your department. Some kind of way it hit your department. It went from Old Dixie to Forest Parkway. And at some point, you're telling me you guys, you didn't, I just don't understand how we didn't get the information, this shift of locations for a liquor store. We got a whole apartment building that has some activity that's always going on. And now we finna put a whole nice building filled with spirits right there to entice and enhance the activity. And we got a whole church across the street. So the first thing when you come in the Forest Parkway, you can get some gas and a bottle of a boo-boo or Ciroc or whatever it is the going thing is. I just don't understand how they made a plan to move from Old Dixie to come to Forest Parkway, and we were not informed. And it started in your department. They had to come to you first.
Yes,
I just, unless somebody been giving me the wrong information, how this operate and move in this city.
again, I understand your concern. The code allows the use, and as Attorney Matricardi said, we don't have a way to say no. And so we can advise and we can tell them.
Director Dozer, we're not saying whether you could say yes or no. What we are saying up here is we did not get the information.
Okay.
You saying yes, no, maybe, check the right box or the left side of the room or whatever. We didn't get it. That's where the ball was dropped at. And so that's why you get in this conversation right now.
Understood. Then moving forward, we will ensure that as places of distilled liquors or any other place that may negatively affect the area are brought to your attention when they come in.
Well, technically, that should happen anyway, because this is the 7th license as permitted per our ordinances, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilman Gutierrez?
He might be at the spirit store.
Yeah, I need one right now. I just don't, I'm gonna be honest with our staff. I don't like the back and forth. It feels like we're doing mental gymnastics here to explain one thing. It happened or it didn't. And then let's just keep moving forward. When something happens, we admit if we made a mistake. If we didn't, then let's just keep going. I don't know. I'm just a bit frustrating with the loops and hoops and maneuvers we're doing just to explain something. We were not made aware of it. So let's just not let that happen again, because we have to answer to our people. The pyramid is the constituents are people are at the top. So we know these things so we can let the people know. And again, I want to ask, I guess, so Attorney Mitricardi, even if they would have let us know it didn't matter, is that kind of what you think? That way we don't just keep looping around the circle.
I'm sorry, you faded out after Attorney Matricardi. What was the rest, please?
Like, if it would it had mattered if they told us or not, because we can't, in essence, tell people where to put their businesses, or if we would have just been aware of it, but they can just come to planning, business zoning, and put their liquor store anywhere.
So legally speaking, it would not have changed the outcome if council was informed prior to, because it's not like they needed to be grandfathered in or they needed a conditional use permit. They were authorized by right to be there, so it would not have changed the outcome in a legal sense.
Okay, I guess that's what's throwing me off, because we're asking all these questions. So my apologies to them, because in essence, they would have it would have been just a courtesy for them to let us know, because they could have gone, in essence, wherever they wanted within the city, right?
That allows.
Wherever it's permitted via zoning, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Item 8, council discussion
Wait.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I just had one more thing, and I agree with Councilman Gutierrez. My question is for my understanding, so that I know, but I don't agree with the back and forth and, like we're interrogating a director or an employee. So I apologize on it, if I said anything that made you feel some type of way or on anyone else's behalf, because that's not what we should do in the public meetings, go back and forth with our directors. But it would be good to just be in the know, whether we can change it or not, just to be in the know. And maybe we need to look at, since we can't fix this, then moving forward, how do we correct it so that it doesn't happen again? Thank you so much.
Council discussion regarding nonprofit tax exemption requirements and status of Liberty Ministries Family Worship, Inc. business license application. Background and history. Section 3-3-11 of the City Code provides that nonprofit organizations be defined pursuant to OCGA 48-13-13.5, may be exempt from occupation taxes, regulatory fees, and administrative fees when operating for charitable purposes. To receive this exemption, qualifying nonprofits are required to apply annually and submit documentation demonstrating their federal tax exempt status, including a current IRS 501c3 determination letter. A separate exemption application must be submitted for each business location for which the exemption is sought. Liberty Ministries Family Workshop, Inc. submitted business license applications for the 2024-2025 license year. The applicant has provided most of the required documents. However, the nonprofit tax exemption application and the IRS 501c3 determination letter specific to the church organization have not been submitted. While the applicant previously held a 501c3 for a food pantry operation, they were unable to provide documentation establishing federal tax exempt status for the church itself, nor documentation showing that the church is operating under an existing umbrella exemption. Staff contacted the applicant via email to request the outstanding documents. No response or additional documentation has been received to date. The file remains pending and cannot be fully processed until the nonprofit exemption eligibility is verified. The application is also awaiting required fire and building inspections, which will proceed upon receipt of the necessary exempt status documentation. Once all required documents are submitted and all departmental approvals are complete, the business license will be issued through the city's online portal. Staff will continue to monitor the file and follow up with the applicant as needed.
Again, this is just the status as it relates to a particular applicant applying for a business license.
Councilwoman James?
I actually asked, Miss Ellis, I don't know if she's here. Okay. Miss Ellis, can you step to the podium, please? Madam Mayor, if you allow.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Ms. Ellis is, can you explain a little bit about, the process that, that you're going through?
First, can you hear me good?
Yes.
That's not true with what happened with, the business
Can
license.
you explain?
I have the email here, and if you want a copy of it, I can give it to you.
No, just explain the process that you.
Well, it started back in 2023 with the previous city manager when I went, well, it started in 2022. When I went to apply for our license, like I always do, I've been doing it since 2013, 2016, since we bought the building on Main Street. Did everything that was expected, has never ever been asked for a 501c3 letter for the church because it's mandated by the federal government. What they usually do is get our legitimate papers from the state, and I have a copy of it showing that we're a non-profit organization, and that's it. When I went in 2022, Ms. Mendoza, she was new, and she said, I need your 501c3. I told her, I've never done that before. She said, well, I'm here now. You need it. And a young lady sitting behind her said, no, the only thing we need to do is pull the state papers. And that's what she did. And we got our license. The following year, when I went, she said the same thing, and it upset me. And I said, do you want me to call the mayor and the city manager? Got involved, and he called me in his office, and he said, I don't know why they do this. I'll take care of it. Okay, I'll take care of it, meaning I'll take care of it. Well, October is when I went down. The first part of October, it was a notice on our door saying we wasn't in good standing, we didn't have our license. So I went down, and Ms. McDozier said, and it was right before the city manager was leaving. She said that, well, he didn't take care of it. You need your 501c3. And I explained to her, I said, we have it for our food pantry, but for the church, we do not have it. We never have had it because we don't want to be mandated by the federal rules with 501c3, meaning that you cannot discriminate. Food pantry, everyone is welcome, no whatever, no requirements, no nothing. But with the church, we were not going to be told how we can and cannot worship. When I went down, she was explaining to me, it was another new lady that sits across from her, and she told her the same thing. So, well, you can get the letter from the state, like the other lady said. But then Ms. Mendoza went on to say, well, we got to do another inspection, like we was just now moving in. And I didn't like that because we've been in Forest Park since 2013, serving faithfully. And today I wasn't able to get to the farmer's market to pick up greens to give out our Thanksgiving basket on Saturday because I had to be here. I had to work, had to be here. But she did send me an email. I said, well, I'll go ahead and do it, what she asked me to do. And on October 27th, she said, please see attached the revised and zoning verification letter after reviewing the request again. And since the use is already existing, the place of public assembly may be permitted because this use is similar to that of a theater or assembly hall. Use/site must meet all code requirements. I responded back saying, good morning, is there anything else I need to do? She responded back at 9:49 that same morning saying, good morning, Ms. Ellis. Yes, Ms. Chaves will be sending you a form. I didn't want to butcher her name. That's why I spelled it. We'll be sending you a form to fill out with instructions to continue this process. My response was, thank you so much. I will be looking forward, and never ever heard another word from them. So, and I have our other license. She did ask for me, when you asked me what did she ask for me, she asked if we had a sanitation bill. She needed a copy of it, and we have it.
Thank
So
you. Thank you. So the question that I have, Mayor Butler,
Yes,
thank you, Ms. Ellis, is what else is needed to move forward, with this process?
Wait, I'm sorry, were they denied? Like,
No, so it's saying that it's more information that's needed, to proceed, to continue on. So I'm just wondering, what is that additional information that's needed?
Okay, for,
okay.
okay, for clarity, my communication was via email. I believe the individuals that were being mentioned were technicians and front counter staff. Um, just to be clear, and I actually wasn't here until 24, so I wasn't understanding, all this had occurred previously until the technician did tell me that there was an issue and that it was supposed to be handled by the previous city manager. At this time, all that the technician is waiting for is the 501c letter in order to finish processing this. And all that would happen is once the letter is received, that they wouldn't have
So
to
the
pay a fee
50C3 is the letter that she doesn't have for the assembly.
for the
right?
church. Yeah,
Right,
ma'am.
so you're saying that the IRS letter or whatever that other letter is
Mhm.
for the assembly is not acceptable?
Well, I don't know about another letter. I didn't see it. So what I will say is this, we need the determination letter. I'm not sure about the other item that was utilized. It was utilized at the time that I wasn't here, so I cannot speak to that. The only thing that I can speak to is at this moment right now, what we need is the letter. Now, if legal says that the paperwork that the applicant submitted suffices for meeting this requirement, we have no issue with that. But that's all that's being waited on right now.
So from my understanding, one of the processes is for, the city to go in and pull the paperwork, from the state to see what their status is, right? At this, is that the process?
No, not that I'm aware of. We do not pull it. So I'm a little unsure on where the information's coming from. Typically what happens is when an applicant comes in, they bring all the needed documents. If there are instances where we might have copies or something of that nature, we do try to look for such items. But we don't typically do that. Maybe it's done on occasion, but I don't want to speak as it relates to what's done. In this particular instance, like I said, we're just waiting on that particular form. And again, if the prior city manager or the prior director of the department utilized another form, I'll be more than happy to look at it and have Ms. Matricardi chime in as to whether it can be used or not. But that's not anything that I had received.
So from my understanding, they've been doing business here in the city, on a nonprofit, status, an assembly, serving this community. And I also understand that they are grandfathered in. And because of the mishandling, of information and whatever else was, released to them, the follow-up caused them to lose a year of submitting applications, which caused them to lose their status as being, grandfathered in. City, Attorney Matricardi, how do we come in and rectify this? If, they have the paperwork in their hand here tonight, how do we come in on the next business day to rectify this and put them back in status? Because this was something that was dropped on our end. How do we rectify this?
So based off of my understanding, I don't think there is anything to rectify. To me, the issue is whether or not they should pay this tax or not, and whether or not a 501c3 determination letter is required, or if just the registering with the state of Georgia as a nonprofit is sufficient for that requirement. So that to me, that is the issue here. It's not whether or not they're grandfathered in, because it looks like they already took care of that they're determined to be a place of assembly, so it's not necessary to revisit that, but it's whether or not a 501c3 determination letter is required to be exempt from taxes, occupational taxes here.
Madam Mayor.
Wait, let me
Oh,
go
go.
down the line. Councilman Gutierrez?
You mentioned, I mean, for the 501c line, right?
I'm sorry, Councilman, you're distorted.
Oh, can y'all hear me now or no? Still distorted.
Slightly.
It was just about the 501c3 letters being online from the website, but I guess Attorney Metricardi said that's not needed, so it's okay.
Well, to clarify, so all 501c, you can download a determination letter on the IRS website, but based off of the owner's discussion tonight, she was saying they are not a 501c3. So what I need to do, and my computer's being slow, so I can't pull up, but specifically look at the definition under state law of what a nonprofit is as it's defined in the occupational tax code. And if a 501 designation is necessary. So I will do that following the meeting and get back with Director Dozier, and then we can resolve this administratively.
Councilwoman Wells?
No, thank you.
Councilman Mears? Councilwoman James?
No.
Councilwoman Gunn?
Let's come back to the police.
Oh, yes.
My question is, we've never had to provide it for the church. We've never had to provide it for the church. And what Ms. Mendoza said, like she was the new sheriff in town, is that her exact words were, I'm here now, and this is what you have to provide. All churches have to do this now. We've never done it before. I have our letter from the state showing that we are legitimate. We do have it for the outreach. And if you understand 501c3, there are certain rules and laws that you have to follow when you are a church. So my question is, if we haven't had to do it since 2016, when did it change for the church? Like I said, we do have it for our outreach, but for the church, why now and why we was not informed?
Okay, did you have something else you want to add? Okay, so this is definitely an administrative issue. And so I'm going to ask Director Dozier, Attorney Metricardi, then our interim city manager return to meet with Pastor Ellis and see where we can rectify this matter. Thank you. Item 9, council discussion on the Reforest Park pilot program, background and history. The city of Forest Park is launching Reforest Park, a pilot initiative designed to reestablish effective citywide recycling through a modern, accountable, and educational framework. In partnership with Waste Management, this 1-month pilot will reintroduce monitored recycling drop-off services free of hauling costs while focusing on reducing contamination, increasing resident engagement, and laying the groundwork for a permanent, fiscally sustainable recycling model. This initiative represents a strategic milestone in a broader One Forest Park vision, reinforcing the city's commitment to environmental stewardship, operational efficiency, and civic trust. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, Director Brown. Public Works is just circling back on this and revisiting the recycling pilot program. If council wishes to move forward, the program will run for 1 month to allow data collection for how many residents will utilize the program.
Thank you, Councilwoman James.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Gunn. Councilman Gutierrez.
Yeah, can we make sure we loop in well, I guess it's just for the pilot, but I would like to make sure that, since we're speaking about the concierge beautification committee for these initiatives that relate to recycling.
All right, thank you. Councilwoman Wells.
No.
Councilman Mayors, oh goodness. All right, thank you. The work session is adjourned. You guys need a minute or two, or you could jump right into that regular session? All right, we're gonna jump right into it. It is 7:19, and the regular session for mayor and council for November 17th is called to order. Tonight's invocation will be done by Dr. Payton. So all those who are able to stand, can you please do so and then remain standing throughout the Pledge of Allegiance?
Let us pray. Father, we thank you for this time and this place that you have allowed us to come and gather to do business on behalf of this city. God, we thank you for the mayor council. We thank you for the first responders, and we thank you for every employee of the city of Forest Park. And we pray, God, that as we go through this meeting tonight, that you will guide our actions and our discussions, God, and let it be for your glory. In Jesus' name, amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Miss Randy, please, a roll call.
Yes. Good evening, Honorable Mayor Butler,
Good evening.
council members, and Director Brown. This is the roll call for the November 17th, 2025 regular session. Mayor Butler,
Present.
Councilmember James,
Present.
Councilmember Gunn,
Here.
Councilmember Gutierrez,
Present.
Councilmember Akins Wells,
Here.
Councilmember Mears.
Yes, ma'am, here.
Mayor Butler, you have a quorum.
All right, thank you. The agenda, is there anything the governing body wishes to add or delete? All right, not hearing any, is there a motion to adopt tonight's agenda?
So moved.
Thank you. That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
A second.
That was Councilman Mears. Is there any discussion? Miss Randy, please.
Councilmember James.
Yes.
Councilmember Mears. I'm sorry, Councilmember Gunn.
Here.
Voting.
Oh, yes.
Councilmember Gutierrez.
Yes.
Happens, it happens.
Councilmember Akins Wells.
Yes.
Councilmember Mears.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the consent agenda, is there a motion to adopt and approve tonight's consent agenda?
So moved.
That was Councilwoman Wells. Is there a second?
A second.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there any discussion? Miss Randy, please.
Councilmember James.
Yes.
Councilmember Gunn.
Yes.
Councilmember Gutierrez.
Yes.
Councilmember Akins Wells.
Yes.
Councilmember Mears.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. The minutes from November 3rd. Has everyone had the opportunity to review them? And if so, are there any changes to be recommended?
I make a motion we approve.
Thank you. That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, that was Councilwoman Gunn. Is there any discussion? All right, Miss Randy?
Councilmember James.
Yes.
Councilmember Gunn.
Yes.
Councilmember Gutierrez.
Yes.
Councilmember Akins Wells.
Yes.
Councilmember Mears.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Public comments, Miss Randy?
Yes, ma'am. Per the charter, section 2-1-7, rules of procedure and decorum will be limited to a total of 3 minutes per speaker. 21 minutes are allotted in total. Members of the public are not allowed to participate in any debate or discussion conducted by the governing body members. All public comments must be limited to matters on the agenda or over which the governing bodies has jurisdiction. Each speaker must maintain a decorous demeanor and refrain from personal attacks upon members of the governing bodies or employees, shouting and using obscene language. All questions and comments shall be directed to the presiding officer, and members of the governing body may respond to the comments during their closing comments if they desire.
Thank you. And we have two. And the first is Mr. Cotton.
Good evening. I've never been to a council meeting.
Well,
But I've lived here in Forest Park off and on for 25 years. I bought a house out here in 2001 to 2008. I moved and then I bought another house in 2020. So, and I actually work for Forest Park now, you know, and I love Forest Park. The taxes are low. Our property values are rising. And I feel that the things that the city council and the mayor does for the city enhance the city, you know. And I work for a public works department, and I work for the street department. And you know, I enjoy working for the street department. I've always taken pride in what I do. Okay, and I think my coworkers do also. But it seems like our morale in the public works is getting lower and lower. I kind of feel like, because there was a comment made about the city council and the mayor being way up here, and then us being way down here. And so when I heard that, I normally don't talk a lot or because I'm an old man, okay? I'm almost 68. I'm an old man. I retired already and I came back to work. But that kind of bothered me. It kind of made me feel like I wasn't valued at all, you know, and we do quite a bit of dirty, nasty jobs around the city, from picking up dead animals, the cutting down trees, to responding to emergencies. And I just think that we need a little help with building our morale back up. So we will actually like to come to work and enjoy working. Now, I'm not saying I don't enjoy work, because I enjoy work. I actually found out I like to work. That's why I came back to work, you know, and people think that's, you know, a little strange, but it is what it is with me. But I would ask that the city council and the mayor just think about public works and come down and address some of the issues that are going on down there.
thank you so
Thank you.
much. Yes, ma'am, you have the floor.
We're gonna get some help. Starting. Good evening, Mayor and councils.
Good evening.
I was commenting on one thing, but I have heard so much from this, and I have to say from these work session agenda, I think it is that I feel, as a concerned citizen, it's time for us to go deep dive. We're gonna have to go into our city order. We got to be able to amend, and we're gonna have to get with Metro Collins and get serious about what we are posting to operate our city on. Due to I heard several entities that were very disturbing, and then you brought out that it's the citizen. Well, I know that the pastor on Forest Parkway, Pastor Green, and even though we're in the proximity of having that distance there, I thought the development would look more like having liquor stores in a certain area, which I understand that the order is written that they have to be at the Old Columbia, and that's so. But needless to say, if it was over at Old Dixie and the owner said he don't want to rebuild, but yet the tenant doesn't have a say-so. So I'm trying to wonder, how did that go? That's one thing on my mind. The second thing, before I use up all my minute, is we are doing a lot with our churches and spirits. And look like this entity here that happened with this liquor store was a backdoor, and it wasn't bought before everybody over here. I think we have a great administration team, well enough to, I say, communicate, but someone won't say who said what, how, and when, and that's why we are listening to what we hear. Back to the church. My pastor, my first lady, when I first came to walk inside of Forest Park were right here behind me, Pastor Allen and his wife, First Lady. And we personal, myself and them, personally had a conversation with the previous administration under Chief Harbs. So if you go back there, Angela Redding, then you will see the note. If you would like to see the note about the 503, then you can go to the IRS board website and look it up. I think what we do here is look like we don't know what to do. Well, we as taxpayer pay this young lady with the blonde hair in front of me to do the work for you if you don't know how. And I would love for you all to start utilizing her. I definitely want you all to get in there and amend those city ordinance, that they are friendly, transparent, that each of you all who represent us know when it comes before you and someone say, for example, OS 233, you automatically know what that means. So for our close out on my time, I would like to say congratulations to everyone who won their election, the incumbent re-election, those who came in. We did have a lot of hiccups with our election through our city, which left out a whole proximity, and that's unacceptable. So we're going to have to really tighten up on our ordinance because, may I have a point of purpose, please? Because it's outdated. So when it outdated like that, this what we get. All these people have worked all day and they still have to sit here and listen to each one come up here, and then you got your question, and they linger out to making them, and especially me, tired. But some things should have been handled in the back room to come out here and have a answer straight up. To have a conversation with two colleagues from procurement and economic development, that is unacceptable for it to have to be done right here in my face. So I hope, and I do have to say at this time, I agree with the mayor. The continuity of it slipped. Somebody dropping the ball. Someone is dropping the ball. And I would definitely want you to, and I know my first lady has the copy of the paperwork you need. So I will hope and pray that you rectify that situation, because that's a similar worship. And they are really worshiping, not playing church. And so do me a favor so I don't have to go back, because I left home, right? But I don't want to have to go back, because I went to the sister's church. But I will go back and come stand with them. So thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, city manager's report.
Good evening, Mayor Council.
Good evening.
In the absence of the interim city manager, Chief Clemens, the city manager's report will be done by Ms. Pauline Warrior, the chief of staff.
Thank
Good evening, governing body
you. Good evening.
and Director Brown. It pleases me to stand here before you in the absence of our interim city manager, Chief Clemens, who couldn't be with us today. So while all of our departments are focused on various and sundry projects and activities, what we wanted to do to represent the highlights from the month of October in the way of activities was to share with you the top 5 highlights of the departments. And so we can get started, please. The Public Works Department is the first one that we want to look at. They exemplified a speedy response on what could have been a destructive happening with a broken water line resulting in damage to Longleaf Road. I think that was well publicized by the media. The Public Works Department collaborated with Clayton County to implement road detours and closures and ensured repairs with minimum disruption and downtime to our neighbors. Okay, we can go to the next one. Underneath under the direction of Director Cox of the Information Technology Department, that department in concert with the Police Department under the direction of Chief Chris collaborated to create a solution for a mobile warrant unit. And this is an innovative system that enabled our police department officers to utilize the special software to request warrants directly at the scene, eliminating the need to return to the police department. And let's continue. Under the direction of Director Dennis, the Economic Development Department was able to facilitate a groundbreaking ceremony for Scannell Forest Park Logistics Center at Gillum's property. And this warehouse will cover almost 300,000 square feet to be positioned on 22 acres of land at Moreland Avenue. That was well attended by all of the stakeholders of that event. And then for recreation and leisure, under the direction of Director Maxwell, along with the assistance of the senior managing coordinator of the senior program for the city, our legacy residents participated in a costume contest judged by Code Compliance's Supervisor Scott and Mr. Woods from the Recreation and Leisure Department. And as you can see there, the winner of that contest is Miss Pat Johnson, who dressed as Wonder Woman. And then we'll go next. Our police department has implemented its drone first responder stats. There's a lot going on with that program. As you can tell here, there were a total of 338 unit events for that program. We had 19 flock hits. The average response time was just under 32 seconds. And there were 15 arrest assists as a result of that program. And that concludes the October 2025 highlights for the city manager's report. Everyone is welcome to look at the City of Forest Park's website because this report is available on issue.com and will be available on tomorrow. Are there any questions?
Thank you. Councilman James, questions or comments?
No questions, thank you.
Councilman Gunn? Councilman Gutierrez?
Nope.
Councilwoman Wells?
No, thank
And
you.
Councilman Mears?
Well,
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Up next, we have Mr. Wiggins. Well, our financial report update. Oh, Mr. Jeremy, thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, Director. I'm sorry, I forget your last name because I'm always on a first name basis with Ms. Shalonda, but Director Brown, excuse me. But I'm stepping in for Director Wiggins. He had an engagement this evening, but this is the monthly financial report by the Department of Finance. And it's just a regular overview for the month of October, which is our revenues and expenses. Just a couple key highlights. The revenues are budgeted at $43 million. Right now, we are currently year to date at 18 million with a difference of 17 million. So we're ahead of our projected revenues, only being at the end of the first quarter of the year, July, August, September, we're already more than 50% ahead with the projected revenues. Tax revenues should be coming in this month all the way. Well, statements have gone out, so revenues will be coming in this month, December, and then January. Those are really the highlights for the revenues. Expenses, all of the departments are within budget, minus a little tweaking here and there. And that's just based on increased in cost for certain goods that were procured in the previous budget cycle. But everything is on par, and we're right at about 33% of the budget used, which is on target for being in the first quarter of the actual fiscal. Go ahead.
No, no.
Oh, I'm sorry.
My bad.
No, you're fine. Next slide, please. This is just our wheel chart. Nice and colorful. This is about as colorful you're going to see from finance. But the nuts and bolts go back to what I was saying. As far as the bottom line, as far as the percentage of the budget used, right at 33%. Everybody's falling within that 33% outliers, which isn't a bad thing. It's just a thing. Fleet services, and police, and that's expected. Next slide. And this is just all other funds, just, in regards to the reporting. And that's pretty much it from finance, unless there were questions or concerns. Didn't want to bore you all too much with numbers and cents.
This is important. Don't worry about that. Councilwoman James?
No questions, thank you.
Councilwoman Gunn?
You're welcome.
Councilman Gutierrez?
No questions. Thank you.
Councilwoman
welcome.
Wells?
No, thank you.
And Councilman Mears?
Thank you all.
All right, so we have a public hearing on the rezoning request. So is there a motion to recess the regular meeting and enter into our public hearing for the rezoning request of 4652 Jonesboro Road?
So moved.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
Second.
That was Councilwoman Gunn. Is there any discussion? Ms. Randy, please.
Councilmember James?
Yes.
Councilmember Gunn?
Yes.
Councilmember Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilmember Akins Wells?
Yes.
Councilmember Mears?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. So per our charter, 10 minutes is allotted per side in its totality to speak on this item. And so we will start with those in favor of this rezoning request of 4652 Jonesboro Road. So if there's anyone that wanted to speak in favor of or in support of this rezoning request, you may line up at the podium now.
Good evening, council. My name is Butch Springer. So y'all did vote on it, approval, or is that what y'all were?
Well, right now, this is just a public hearing, and then once the public hearing is closed, then the council will vote on it.
Okay, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We're the owners of the property. We've had it, Mr. Stratus had it for 40 years, and we're just asking basically for the maps to be corrected. Apparently somehow along the way, the maps were incorrect. The business has been used as a commercial business for well over 40 years. And when we came, and Ms. Dozier's been very, very helpful to get us lined back up. She stepped into this, I think before this, when this accident happened, because there was not a red marked on this piece of property as commercial use. It had been commercial use for over 40-something years. So this is really just a correction of the maps. We almost feel guilty as the owners, feel like an admission of guilt, asking for rezoning when it's been used for over 40 years for an automotive use. But for the last couple, it hasn't, and somehow the maps picked it up that it was residential, not commercial. And that's the only reason why we're here. And Ms. Dozier's been great to help us out to get where we're at, and we sure appreciate you. And Mr. Gutierrez has been awful nice in helping us out to fix basically just what was an error. We don't know who, but it was an error. So if we can just correct that and make it red, and we'll appreciate it.
Okay, and so just for clarification, you're the owners of 4652.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to speak?
Because I know of the business and aware, I stand in agreement that I'm in favor for them to actually continue running their service. They actually work really great in the community. As we hear again, it's something with the map, and I did mention earlier that it's time for us to pay attention to our city ordinance and to our charters or whatever we need. We have got to go there because now it's trickling to go out into the people who've been here for long terms. They already have some type of problem of being able to advertise because of these city ordinance. And so we need to get it where it can become more favorable for those who are coming in as well as those who are in. So I'm in favor for it.
All right, thank you. Is there anyone else? Okay, not seeing anyone. Is there anyone that is not in favor of this rezoning request? You may line up at the podium now. All right, not seeing anyone. This public hearing is closed. Is there a motion to close out the public hearing and then reconvene into our regular meeting?
So moved.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
Second.
That was Councilwoman Gunn. Is there any discussion? Ms. Randy, please.
Councilmember James?
Yes.
Councilmember Gunn?
Yes.
Councilmember Gutierrez?
Yes.
Councilmember Akins Wells?
Yes.
Councilmember Mears?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Wait, hold on, I had a question. Okay, never mind. Is there a motion now on the, to approve this rezoning request 2025-03 for 4652 Jonesboro Road?
So moved.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
Second.
Has a second by Councilwoman Gunn. Is there any
That's
discussion?
not Gunn.
I'm sorry, Councilwoman Wells.
Thank you.
Is there any other discussion on this item? Ms. Randy, please.
Councilmember James.
Yes.
Councilmember Gunn.
Yes.
Councilmember Gutierrez.
Yes.
Councilmember Akins Wells.
Yes.
Councilmember Mears.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. All right, old business, is there a motion to approve the ordinance amending the charter of the city of Forest Park, Georgia to revise section 2.15 inquiries and investigations of Article 2, which is governmental structure?
So moved.
But that I'm sorry,
Okay.
because we have to make the correction. It's going per the ordinance, not what was actually written in the work session.
Correct.
Okay. All right, so that
So
was
moved.
Councilwoman
Mhm.
James. Is there a second?
Second.
That was Councilwoman Gunn. Is there any discussion? Ms. Randy, please.
Councilmember James.
Yes.
Councilmember Gunn.
Yes.
Councilmember Gutierrez.
Yes.
Councilmember Akins Wells.
Yes.
Councilmember Mears.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Is there a motion to approve Ms. Cynthia Bacon Award 5 to the Beautification Committee?
So moved.
That was Councilwoman Wells. Is there a second?
I'll second.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there any discussion? Ms. Randy, please.
Councilmember James.
Yes.
Councilmember Gunn.
Yes.
Councilmember Gutierrez.
Yes.
Councilmember Akins Wells.
Yes.
Councilmember Mears.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Is there a motion to approve the partnership agreement with the Rock Church
I'm
and the
sorry,
city?
point of order, Madam Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
We had other reappointments for the beautification committee.
Oh, we were reappointing them and then appointing her. Okay. Well, thank you. So is there a motion to also reappoint the existing members as stated in the work session?
So moved.
Thank you. And thank you for catching that. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Councilman Mears, is there any discussion on that? All right, Ms. Randy, please.
Councilmember James.
Yes.
Councilmember Gunn.
Yes.
Councilmember Gutierrez.
Yes.
Councilmember Akins Wells.
Yes.
Councilmember Mears.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you all. Is there a motion to approve the partnership agreement with Rock Church and the City of Forest Park?
So moved.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
Second.
That was Councilwoman Gunn. Is there any discussion? Ms. Randy?
Councilmember James.
Yes.
Councilmember Gunn.
Yes.
Councilmember Gutierrez.
Yes.
Councilmember Akins Wells.
Yes.
Councilmember Mears.
Ma'am.
All right, item 9, council approval to confirm the establishment of a development impact fee program and consider appointment of the Development Impact Fee Advisory Committee. Is there a motion on this item?
Madam Mayor, I make a motion that we table this item.
There's a motion to table. Is there a second?
Second.
That was seconded by Councilwoman Wells. Is there any discussion? Ms. Randy, please.
Councilmember James.
Yes.
Councilmember Gunn.
Yes.
Councilmember Gutierrez.
Yes.
Councilmember Akins Wells.
Yes.
Councilmember Mears.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Item 10, is there a motion to approve the Reforest Park Pilot Program?
So moved.
That was Councilwoman James. Is there a second?
Second.
That was Councilwoman Gunn. Is there any discussion? Ms. Randy, please.
Councilmember James.
Yes.
Councilmember Gunn.
Yes.
Councilmember Gutierrez.
Yes.
Councilmember Akins Wells.
Yeah.
Councilmember Mears.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Closing comments by the governing body. Councilwoman James.
Yes, first of all, thank you all for coming out. Want to remind you all that the ward meeting is this third Thursday at the Hartsfield Community Center at 5 o'clock, 696 Main Street. Hope to see you all there. I'm not sure who's going to provide the dinner yet, but we'll have dinner. Also, I just wanted to make a couple comments. First, I don't know if Mr. Cotton is still, oh yeah, he's still here. I want to thank you, Mr. Cotton, for your comments. I'm almost as old as you. But what I will say is, for me as an elected official, there's a lot of things that I pride myself in doing. Increasing wages for our staff, our employees, approving the pension plan for our employees, approving the medical and dental coverage for our employees, the home program, making sure that the initiative that Mayor Butler started, that we were able to look to have housing for our staff, our employees that are here, and some of the other initiatives. And so there was something that happened at the Thanksgiving dinner. I don't know, many of you may not be aware of it. It didn't really bother me much. Well, I shouldn't say, well, it didn't bother me, really. I just kind of took it lightly. But I think that our interim chief actually asked our directors to talk to their staff, each one of our department heads, not just one department, to talk to their staff. So what happened was I got booed when I took the mic by a staff member. Don't know who the staff member was, not important. But what is important is to know that I'm for you. And a lot of times you can hear outside noise and people try to get in your head. And if you know someone to be a liar, chances are they're lying again. You know, we have a perfect example. I shouldn't say that in the White House, but no, I shouldn't say that. But anyway, what I'll say is if you know someone that's a liar, they will continue to lie for whatever their benefit is. So I would say get to know me as an individual, get to know me as a person. I know that some of you may have been rooting for the other guy. That's okay. But I just know that in this particular season, I worked effortlessly to regain this seat. And why? Because I had direction from my Father in heaven who told me what to do and what not to do. So you didn't see a lot of my signs out because I didn't do that, because my work spoke for itself. I love this community. I've been in this community over 30 years, but I have 4 kids and a grandchild now that grew up in this community. I love the kids of this community. I love the people of this community. I love the employees. And you all always hear me say, you all make us look good. You know, it's not me, like you said, Mr. Cotton, you're doing the dirty work. And I do appreciate that. You guys are out there doing that, and I appreciate that. And I would never want you all to put me on a pedestal and put yourself down under the feet. That's not at all where I am. So I hope that you don't feel that way, but I'll say it from my mouth. That is something that we are equals, you know, but there is a level of respect, I believe, that should happen regardless. There is a level of respect. And so I know that respect is earned, and I hope I've earned your respect, not by my words, but by my actions, the things that I've done, you know. And I know there's an incident that happened where you all may not know the whole story, but I had an appointment with Director Matthews to ride in my community to look at some things. I took the time off of work to do that, to ride in my community. And so that ride had to be cut short because he had to go to another meeting. I was like, oh, well, let me see what this meeting is. And so I was not able to stay. So I heard a little bit and I said my little 2 cents, and I said the confidence that I have in Director Matthews and to lead our city where it needs to be, because he has the expertise, he has the knowledge to bring our city to a different level and a new level. And I know change is hard. I know change is difficult, but the reality is we need change to move forward. You all heard some of the things that happened tonight and some of the frustrations that we have to go through. We're trying to make our city better and trying to keep our current um, uh, business owners and um, people in place. There's a lot that goes to this. And so we have to make those tough decisions and take tough choices. But one thing I will say is I'm very observant. I pay attention to a lot of things. So if safety isn't concerned, we had a big issue where our insurance policy, they wouldn't even take us our insurance because we had so many accidents. We had so many things that was going on in our city. Our insurance rate was being jacked up. You all don't know that, or maybe you do. But we had to make decisions. We had to get a risk management in to tell us what are some of the things that we have to do to mitigate our risks. Some of those things may include make sure your employees wear steel-toe boots. Make sure you're making sure that you lock up things and things are not getting stolen while people are out on the job working. Make sure things are in place. So certain things have to be put in place to make sure that our insurance is not going to be skyrocket because we got to continue to pay, buy new equipment and buy new things, and accidents happen and work comp and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of things that have to come into place. But from my heart, just know that I love every one of you all. And I don't know if it's me that you feel like is up there and you're down there, but sincerely don't feel that way, because that's not me at all. And so whoever may be in your ear telling you that this is the case is not. It is not. I lead with love. I love you. Regardless of you boo me or whatever, that's your choice. Everybody has choices. Nobody is going to like everybody and every decision. We're not going to all agree on here. It's 6 different personalities on this, 7 different personalities, or well, including Councilman Gutierrez. Different personalities. We're not going to always agree, but can we respect each other when we don't agree? Can we do that? That's all I ask. And so don't think that it's a high you or a high me and a low you or whatever. It's not. It's not that at all. And be confident in the decisions that we've made. And you spoke about morale in the department. And what I will say is over the years that I've been here in this seat, there's been morale going up and down, up and down, up and down. And in not just in the Public Works Department, but it's because of change. There's change that has happened in our city, and change is going to continue to happen in our city. But believe you me that the change that we're making is for the future of the city of Forest Park. We have to move forward. We have to do things right, and we have to be better, So we got this pension in place, and if you feel like, you can't make it, and you got a pension. That's all I can say. I'm grateful that you have a pension. And so, like I said, you may not have wanted me in this position. You may have voted for the other guy, and but it is what it is. I've been favored by God. I've been favored by man. And I give all glory to God for that. So I hope I see some of you on Thursday for the ward meeting.
Thank you. Councilwoman Gunn.
Mr. Cotton, how you doing, sir? Thank you for coming out. It is very disappointing. Either you said, I heard or I was told. And so somebody brought information to you. And there's a word for it. It's called a talebearer. We got to be very careful of the information that we get. I had the most amazing conversation with that young lady back there with the burgundy sweat top on. And I think I got the right person. I did not know that we have a person that goes and have to go to every bus stop and clean. I don't think about that. I pass by and it's clean. I don't see the trash is not piling up, but you never think about that person that has that responsibility. The young lady that comes by my street, because my yard sometimes be jacked up, y'all. But I love when she come by with that machine and she sweep the curb. I love seeing how the guys. I went down Main Street. I didn't know our workers work. It just didn't hit me. Our workers work all the way down Main Street from Wendy's going all the way back up the Forest Parkway. And I saw a team of guys and I stopped and I talked to them and they enlightened us. Now, if we did not have you guys in position, this city would be a hot mess. I don't see trash. I love it when I come around that curve and I pass Old Dixie. I know I'm home and it's clean. And it's because of your department. And I don't know all the interworkings. I didn't know we had a mechanic shop that's down there and somebody is in there and making sure that every vehicle is being attended to, the interworking parts that your department has. You guys do an amazing job here. Now, whoever came and dropped that in your spirit that we think we up here and you guys are down here, that's a lie. And I'm gonna call it like it is. That's a lie. We're many parts, but we're jointly fitted together. And if you guys were not here, Mr. Khan, this city would be a mess for real. And I'm appreciative. I am truly I see the guys rolling down the road and I'm throwing my hands up. Sometimes I get to talk with some of them, you know, and every time I'm in line, I'm finding out something new. You guys are valuable here. Take that component of what you guys do in any city. Every city would be a hot mess. So I'm telling you, I appreciate you guys. I see you guys rolling. Y'all doing y'all thing. It's a big department. I didn't have a clue how big the department was. And I just want to tell you, I appreciate you. I really do. Because I'm a carpenter first, and I'm HVAC certified. And I worked with my father for many years. My kids are still working from time to time in the industry of construction. And I know what that's like. And so I say to you, Mr. Khan, and to all staff that is here, you're valuable and you sure enough are needed in this city. But be careful. You're able to come up and talk to us. Stop us on the side. Pull us to the side. Try the spirit by the spirit. That part right there. And I appreciate your boldness coming in, expressing yourself. And I just want to say to all you guys, you're valuable. You're needed. James ain't gonna get out there and pick up no paper. Oh no, maybe. Cut no grass. So thank you so much for all that you do.
Councilman Gutierrez.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, everybody. I don't know if this confusion is maybe from the comment I made about mentioning how the pyramid and the people are at the top, and I meant by our constituents and how we have to answer to them, and the power is in the people. As we just saw, our incumbents got reelected. You know, they voted. So I don't know, just to clarify if that was the misconception by Mr. Khan's comment about him being at the bottom, or I don't know. I just want to make sure because I did say that we do have to answer to the people. And yeah, I think regardless, thank you for coming and speaking up. I think that takes a lot of bravery, and that speaks of the transparency and I guess you know, type of environment that we have in our city that somebody can come up and say something like that. So I will say that I don't know, just you know, for each department, I think they like
we should just look at what it is or what's going on in our departments to make sure that the culture is good. And, these are things that, I think like Dr. Falami said, we need to handle in-house. These are things that we need to take care of in-house. But if someone's feeling unheard that they can't do it and they go up there, then we really need to, see what that work culture is about. And then as far as our employees, I definitely appreciate Public Works and everything they do. Um, Earlier, also when we were speaking to both of the directors of economic development and planning, building and zoning, I want to apologize if any of my comments may have come off disrespectful in any way. I was just a bit confused with the back and forth, and I don't think that, this should happen like this either, but, we're transparent with everything and we want to make sure that the community knows what's going on. So, yeah, that's that. So, yeah, I am in Savannah. There is a housing conference here. So I'm really excited because I know that we're going to be recognized as one of the gig recipients. Our city is on Wednesday, so I will be seeing the rest of the staff, but I'm really looking, having Calvary Refuge in my ward in Ward 3, the homelessness problem is right there. Like all the wards have it, but I have it specifically in our park, at Theater Park, where a lot of the people once they get let go in the morning from Calvary just are there in the park. And a few constituents have reached out to me about that. So I'm kind of stuck. I don't know the English saying, but between the rock and the sword, just it's I gotta answer to the people, but I'm very empathetic to people who are unhoused because that could easily be me if I didn't have my wife around, to be honest. So I'm here to see what initiatives, what's working out in other communities, what government money there is, what we can bring back to our community, and how we can work as a region, because homelessness is not just a Forest Park problem. Calvary is the only shelter in the whole county, and there's people there from everywhere. So I really, I hope to come back with some ideas where we can work on a regional plan to address this in some type of way, or start some things that that can benefit our community. So that's that. I should be back on Thursday, but I'm walking around with my tight Forest Park shirt representing us to the best of my ability. But everybody have a good evening. Have a good night. Thank you, everybody, for the public comments. I hope that we can solve everything for the young lady about the church and the pantry, because our communities are in need of spaces like this. We don't need to be putting extra hurdles for people that are bringing good to our community.
Thank you, Councilwoman Wells.
Yes, first I would like to say thank you to our fire department and our police department for the fire incident on Austin Place in Ward 4. Thank you all so much for all that you all do. I know we don't see a lot, sometimes we get updated on some of the things that's going on in our community, but thank you for looking out for us and our residents. Also Wellness with Wells started back last week. And my legs are still sore. But I want to remind you, every Tuesday from 6 to 7 at the gym, we are led by a great workout from Mr. Malone, Larry Malone. So if you're free on Tuesdays, join us. And for the 10th year, I am doing my turkey giveaway to the residents of Forest Park. We started off giving away 25 turkeys, and then it turned to 75, and now it's 300. So thank y'all. So we're trying to meet that same goal this year. So far, we have 200 turkeys that are being donated to the residents of Forest Park, because I just believe in not just saying, but also doing. So yes, so if you all know someone that's in need, or if you just don't want to buy a turkey this year, then make sure you all come out on the 25th from 5 to 6. We'll be at the amphitheater. And then to kind of respond to Mr. Cotton, thank you. I think I've seen you on a few occasions. We've never really had a conversation. Everybody that knows me knows that since I've been in office for 13 years, Public Works, because they are treated like they're down here, they're not respected as much as other employees. And so I am going to always be one to speak up for all of our employees, but a lot for Public Works. And I will just say, when it comes to the morale. I think it has a lot to deal with supervisors, leaders, and all of that. If you look at Chief Chris, I'll use him. He's a great one. Look at him. He's just chilling. He ready to go. He wants us to stop talking. But if you look, and people know that I wasn't fond of the police department, I have grown to love the police department because of the leadership that it has. So your workers count on their leaders. So if the morale in the department is not as good, then I think we need to look at the higher up. And if the higher up mean us, then look at us, because we're the leaders of our community. I don't believe in just talking. I don't believe in getting up here saying things and making it sound good. I believe respect is earned and not given. And I always tell people, even, people I went to high school with and middle school with, they see me and they say, "Hey, Councilwoman." I say, "Was I Councilwoman when we were in school?" This title does not make me. I am Latresa Shantae Akins first, before I'm anybody. And I'm never too good to go and sit down with our employees. I go out, I go to the rec department, I get on Tariq nerves. I go over there, I sit with them. I'll go walk through economic development. I'll go and sit on the back dock with the public works employees, and I just listen. And that's what they need. That's why our employees need somebody to listen and not get up and come in and say your 2 cents and walk away and turn your back and then get up here and say you have respect for them. So again, I will continue to speak up. I will continue to have your back. And although things like this inquiries and investigations ordinance that was changed tonight, I voted on it. But it ain't gonna change nothing. Because if I can be a listening ear, if I can make you feel better about coming to work in the city of Forest Park, that's what I'm gonna do. It doesn't matter who I like or who I'm friends with. If you're not right, you're just not right. And I'm gonna call you out on it, whether you like it or not. So I appreciate you, Mr. Cotton, because a lot of people have been retaliated against for doing exactly what you did today. It takes a lot. You putting your livelihood in jeopardy, putting your job in jeopardy. And I'm so glad you got in a public meeting and did that, because you're setting an example for your colleagues. And you're letting them know that although everybody may not feel comfortable speaking up, you're a man just like everybody else is. You get up and you put your pants on the same way everybody else is. And nobody else, you're not beneath anybody. I was raised to treat the janitor the same way I treat the CEO. And I'm approachable. I'm never going to turn my back on any of you. And yes, we all want more money for I wish we can vote tonight for another raise for you, because y'all deserve it. We have some of the best. We have some of the best employees. We have some of the most dedicated employees. And although they get up with tears in their eyes, because I receive a lot of those phone calls, and I don't care if people don't like me, because people respect me and they come to me because they can trust me and they know I'm not going to throw them up under the bus, I'm going to keep doing it. If I could just reach one person and let you know that you're appreciated, then I'm going to do that. So I'm sorry if the morale is low. I'm sorry if you feel like you can't come to us. I'm sorry that ordinances like this have to be put in place to try to quiet those that are a voice for our employees and our residents. I'm sorry. But I truly love you, and I don't just say it, I show it. And if you look at some of your phones and Facebook and all of that, I tell you, So we can get up here and we can make it sound good and, whatever. What are you doing? What are your actions saying? That's making an impact. And so somebody messaged me and I asked the mayor, because Mr. Cotton, you set an example. And so they wanted to know if they could speak. And the mayor gave the okay. What I will say is be respectful, because although Councilman Mears giggled over here, it was kind of funny a little bit, it was. But just be respectful. You don't have to treat people like they treat you. You pray for them. That's what I do. I have an ethics complaint against me right now because I speak up for these employees. And you can file 3, 4, 5 more. It's public record. You can do an open record request. But it's my job to inquire so that I can do my job the best of my ability. So if that bothers you, sorry. But yeah, if any of you would like to speak, the mayor is giving you the floor to do that. Thank y'all so much. Everybody have a happy Thanksgiving. May God bless you and your families.
Ms. Randy, we're gonna set the timer for, 2 minutes. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, 1 sec, we gotta get to Councilman Mills.
Okay.
Ayers, Councilman Mears.
On me? Okay. But I want to thank everybody on a lighter note. Everybody come tonight. Appreciate the big crowd. This is where you take care of your business. And I was going to bring up Mr. Finch, but he's not here. He's missing in action again. But always remember to thank your police and fire department and public works because they all work together to do you a great job in the city and protect you. Now, the other issue that I've got, most people, I don't know if you go to work early or get off at dark or whatever, but in riding my ward this day, which is around Longleaf and over that area, I run into 2 different herds of deer. Now, if y'all need to be careful when you're out early in the morning or about dusk, because they will mess up your car and your life. So be on the lookout for deer in that area in Ward 5. I know there's 5 over there. I just seen them today. But I want to thank everybody for coming, and I want you to have a good week. And if we can help you, call us. Thank you.
So I'm sorry, Mayor. I just wanted to send my condolences, to Miss Hartsfield. If you all know the Hartsfield family, if you know where she lives, just stop by and give her a hug. Her son passed away, Fruity, lifelong resident of the city of Forest Park. They've been here for years and years and years. And he passed away, and his funeral was on Saturday. So if you know her, just stop by and show her the love. My condolences to the Hartsfield family. Thank you.
What Councilwoman James wants? That's what I was. Oh, okay. Councilman Gutierrez wanted to say something else.
Yeah, I just want to say today's our city manager's birthday, and also our condolences to him on the loss of his father. Happy birthday, Ricky.
All right. And so there was the young lady. Yeah, so this is pretty unorthodox. And so I just want to be clear, while I'm allowing you to come forward, I don't want it to be derogatory, no personal attacks. From what I understand, it was to address what was already stated and then what was stated by, I think what Councilwoman James, her point as well.
Okay, well, I'm a city employee. I've been here for 2 years and 3 months. So I come from a bigger city, and I was the first female in parks or grounds in public works, first and only. I still work here, but I was bullied out of my position. So, I'm just, it's a lot. It's a lot. And most of the times, I'm scared to come to work.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Well, thank you. Well, I'm going to have Attorney Matricardi speak with you. And then if there's a bigger Attorney Matricardi
none of that doesn't work.
issue needs to be addressed, then we'll take the appropriate channels to make sure that it gets addressed. But let me say this. So we hear what's being said. There are proper channels that we take to address what's being said. So it is incumbent upon everyone that when presented with the opportunity to express what is on their heart, that they do so to the person that is before them to address the issue. And so what has happened is that we will receive some information, the item will be looked into, but then once that person talks to whomever, it's not the same information as it was presented. And so it's not that we're not doing anything. That's entirely not the case, but it truly is incumbent. Everyone has to help everyone help themselves. So I hear what you're saying. If it is, when presented with that opportunity, you have to speak up. and be completely honest and transparent. Because again, what we're being told and what's being told to the entity that's actually on board to look into the concerns is not the same thing. And so that's the best way that I can explain the process, because we are wanting to address all concerns. And so I don't want anyone to feel like it's not being addressed, but that has been the issue in the past. Now, what may happen in the future, I cannot speak to, but that has been how everything has played out before.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. We do have to go into executive session for personnel, litigation, real estate, and legal matters. Is there a motion for such? The Councilwoman James, is there a second?
Yes.
All in favor?
Yes.